Well, to absolutely nobody's surprise, we're back again with yet another No Fluff analysis. This time I'll be talking about the Stirring Shadows Summon Showcase Part 2. This Summon Showcase is going to be running from the 4th of November to the 16th of November UTC. Without any further ado, let's get straight to it. The unit added in this banner is the 5-star Wind Staff Akasha, the Pursuer of Knowledge. Her first skill is Akashic Repose, which restores hit points to all allies and also grants regen for 15 seconds. This is a fairly standard regeneration heal. Her second skill is Vital Gate, which creates a buff zone for 10 seconds that gradually fills the skill gauges of adventurers inside. Being a staff unit, she has the standard co-ability of plus recovery potency. Her other abilities are plus 100% skill prep, full bog resist, and also plus 15% healing when her hit points are above 70%. Regen heals are generally well regarded due to having a high healing throughput, but this is her only healing skill. Her second skill is her main unique point, being able to fill the skill gauges of her team so long as they fit in the moderately sized buff zone. It's not quite Gala Uden sized, so it requires some finesse to use effectively. Having bog resist points her towards high mercury, but I also think that makes her quite awkward to use. Her buff zone is the main reason you might bring her, but you'd also have to be in melee range to benefit, say, Victors and Wedding Alizans that the current metagame has. Maybe you could enable some non-Wedding Alizan compositions? If the healing requirement is removed, we could see some other units being used. However, this would probably require you to pre-form parties due to how people tend to prefer to stick to a known meta. The 5-star dragon added with this showcase is Hastur, the Whisperer in Darkness. He's a wind dragon with the ability to grant wind units plus 45% strength and plus 15% primed strength, which is a 10-second effect with a 15-second cooldown. His skill is Void Volley, deals 6 hits of damage to a target and nearby enemies, and also inflicts sleep for 3 to 8 seconds with a 120% base chance. I'd say Hastur is a fairly odd dragon. I'd consider him to be worse than Zephyr in multiplayer content due to the loss of the consistent 50% strength. However, in single player content, you could potentially lead with a higher DPS unit and put Hastur on an AI controlled unit instead, offloading that 15% strength to a unit that contributes more damage, therefore getting more value out of that 15% buff. Hastur could see some very niche applications in Mercurial Gauntlet, but definitely not a dragon I'd be deliberately pulling for. In terms of Wyrmprints, we didn't really have any added to the treasure trade, but with the update we had the 5-star Wyrmprint in an Unending World added, which grants plus 10% player experience. This was the Wyrmprint given to players that registered the code that came with the limited edition Dragalia Lost albums. I haven't personally received my print yet, but I did submit my code maybe a week before the deadline. I'm not entirely sure if I'll get it along with the other awards, but that depends on whether or not they count application date through the form versus when they process it, since I had to apply through the inquiries form that they instructed non-Japanese account holders to use. Anyway, the print is fairly mundane, but at least the art is pretty. I'm fairly glad that they kept a harmless effect on the print, and I already use experience prints on non-active units when I do multiplayer content, since it still takes effect, oddly enough. And being an already existing effect that we've gotten in other prints, nobody can really complain about power creep. So yeah, I guess it's got that going for it. In terms of older content that's seeing a rate up on this showcase, we have the 5-star Wind Lance Silas, the 4-star Wind Blade Musashi, 4-star Wind Staff Wedding Zania, and the 4-star Strength Dragon, Wind Strength Dragon that is Rock. So yeah, sure. In terms of my opinions on the showcase overall, well, Akasha seems like a fairly unique healer due to her buff zone. However, I think she'd be fairly awkward to fit into existing high mercury compositions. High mercury is fairly old content, so I feel like the metagame may have crystallized, but I think it would be neat if people experimented with her. Maybe Akasha could substitute for a Wedding Alizan and still clear. Maybe she could help melee units charge their skills faster, ramp up bleed faster, that sort of thing. Who knows, I guess people have to experiment. Regarding Hastur, I don't think people want to pull for Hastur deliberately, but I suppose Cygames is trying out new stats. I think a 50% strength aura instead of the 45% we have at maximum unbind might have made Hastur more attractive to use in single and multiplayer content though. In terms of the banner overall, I think it's fairly disappointing. Silas, Musashi and Wedding Zania are fairly outclassed by other units in endgame content, but I suppose if you're a new player, they're still better than no wind units at all. Rock is always a good pull, unless you have 4 maximum unbound rock. Anyway, that about concludes it for my opinion on the showcase. So yeah, take it easy, I'll see you guys next time, and I wish you luck in your upcoming pulls.